Hi, and welcome to zSmartTheory. I'm James, and this is my co-host, Andrea.
Hello!
Today we're going to be learning how to make kombucha.
So, we're going to be using this. This is the SCOBY in starter tea.
And in order to make kombucha, basically you need some starter tea, which is pre-made kombucha, or in some cases you can use distilled vinegar in place of the kombucha, or the starter tea. You need tea bags. So here we have some black tea, some chai tea, some green tea, and
sugar, and lots of water. Also what we have on the table are just examples of kombucha that we've already made. This is a green jasmine tea, and this is a black tea, which is more along the lines of what we have here.
So can you explain a little bit about how the process occurs, like how kombucha is actually made, like in terms of the mother and the SCOBYs and that sort of thing?
No. So in the SCOBY itself, you'll see is a big floating glob of bacteria and yeast.
And as a matter of fact, SCOBY stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast.
Why, thank you. All right, so what we need to do first is boil all this water, and we're going to do, I believe, 6 cups of water, half a cup of sugar, and tea. We're going to use about 3 to 4 tea bags, but it's basically to your taste.
And yeah, you can choose any kind of tea you want: white teas, black teas, green teas. Today we're gonna make a batch using chai tea, which is a black tea, and a green tea as well.
Okay.
Andrea is just looking up what SCOBY means, but as you and I both know, it stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast.
Oh, also what we're going to have to add is the SCOBY itself, as well as 1 cup of the starter tea into our batch. So we're going to measure out, we've already started the water boiling on the stove over there, and we're going to measure out half a cup of sugar to add to the water once the water is done heating up. So one thing to... Oh, what was I going to say? So I was just going to mention that your water doesn't need to be boiling. It just needs to be heated up enough to dissolve the sugar and to steep tea.
So for this we'll need, what, about 3 or 4 tea bags?
Yes. All right, so that is half a cup.
And our water is just about ready, so we're going to get it and continue.
Okay, we're back with the brewed black tea. We added it, the water boiled, we add the sugar, we steeped the tea, poured it back in the container after it was cooled a bit.
Now, I like a strong kombucha, or a strong tea flavor, so we left the tea bags in there for about 10 minutes or so.
All right, so what are we going to do next?
So next we'll add some SCOBY. And as you can see, basically we just, and we'll show you again with the other jar, but we just have a paper towel with an elastic around it.
All right, so we're gonna take a part of the SCOBY.
So we're gonna pour the starter tea into this bowl, and we're gonna divide it up for our 3 batches. So we'll pour the tea in with the mother, or the SCOBY, it's called.
Oh gosh.
Now we're having a little bit of trouble getting it out. It's quite large. I'm just going to use these chopsticks. So I've been calling this the mother. That's also called the SCOBY. And what is is there any difference in terminology?
I don't believe so, but I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, just gonna try to use these
Oh, gosh.
chopsticks to tease it out. It's grown quite big over the 3 or so weeks that we've been brewing the last batch of kombucha. It's a little bit too big for the opening.
All right, so originally we said we were going to do 2 batches, but we decided to do a 3rd batch in this container itself.
So I can separate the top
Layer.
and then we'll just show how big the mother is. That's thick, eh? It was never that thick before.
Some of the mother was from previous batches. So what we're going to do is put 1 layer of the SCOBY into the brewed tea, as well as 1 cup of starter tea, which is what the mother is swimming in right now. So put 1 layer in here. There we go. And it's all right if it's not floating at the top like you'll normally find it. But it seems to be opening itself up and covering the top there. So now we'll pour out 1 cup of starter tea to pour into here.
Forgot about one of the most important parts, actually.
So maybe put it on here in case.
And that's exactly a cup.
1 cup. All right. So just gonna mix that up a little bit. And what's important ultimately is that the SCOBY, there'll be a layer of SCOBY at the top of your kombucha. All right, so now we're going to cover the jar with paper towels and elastic, just to keep out dust and dirt and to keep it clean. So we're going to keep that in a dark place and check on it every few days to see the progress.
Now for a batch this size, should take about 1 to 2 weeks normally.
2 weeks I think would do, and you can see the SCOBY is floating on top.
And you don't want to brew it for too long, otherwise it'll
be very acidic and vinegary and not pleasant to drink. So, all right, so let's do our 2nd batch. Okay, so we're back with 2 of our 3 batches of kombucha. This is the green tea and this is the black tea. You'll notice color difference. I don't know if you can see from there, but we'll get close up.
So the black tea is a little bit darker than the green one, and we're going to find a dark place to keep these for about 2 weeks or so.
Right, and we'll check in on its progress and tell you what the process will be like. This is what it looks like after fermentation. The mothers have grown considerably. The jar on the left is the black tea, the one in the middle is green, and on the right is the mixed black and green tea. So the mothers have grown and there's some sediment at the bottom. And now we're going to transfer them into bottles and do a little taste test.
Okay, so we're going to start bottling the kombucha, and we'll start with the black tea.
We're going to use the measuring cup because it has a spout.
Oh, I think it just said something.
It said, pour me out of here. Okay. Well, where do you want me to hold it? Here?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. Are we holding it too high? Jeez, why don't you give us some background music? Background music, that'd be great.
All right, here we go. So here we are, a couple of hours later with our now chilled kombucha. And we're going to give it a little taste test here.
I heard a little fuzz. Carbonation.
You should swirl it around a little bit before you consume it.
So I'm going to taste the green tea kombucha.
And I have the black tea.
I only want a small taste. That tastes pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. So thank you for watching us make kombucha, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.
Also, check out our zTheory t-shirts that we have on sale on Amazon. We have links in our description as to where to go to find those.
And you can visit us on the web at ztheory.x10host.com.
And you'll find that in our description as well.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.